Assalamu alaikum and good evening to all. On behalf of the Global Entomologists Network, I welcome you all to our second international webinar. GEN is a scientific platform aimed at promoting research collaboration, knowledge sharing, and academic development in the field of entomology. Today's session is titled Beyond the Naked Eye, Mites, Ticks, and Their Growing Relevance in Health and Agriculture. These tiny arthropods play critical roles in ecosystems, and some are emerging as serious pests and vectors, making them increasingly important to study the context of agriculture and public health. We are honored to have with us Dr. Jawwad Hassan Mirza, a specialist in acarology and researcher at King Saud University, Saudi Arabia. Dr. Jawwad holds a PhD in entomology and has worked extensively on the taxonomy, biology, and ecology of mite pests and predators. His research includes field and laboratory studies, biological control programs, and the discovery of new species, with over 35 international publications to his credit. He will share his expertise on the ecological and economic importance of mites and ticks, their management, and their relevance in modern integrated pest management programs. I now invite Dr. Jawwad Hassan Mirza to begin his talk. Please stay attentive and feel free to note your questions for the question answer session. Over to you, Dr. Jawwad.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saqib, for giving me the opportunity. Just I want to make sure that everyone can listen to me and the sound is clear. There is no problem.
Yes, Dr. Jawwad, your sound is very clear and we can easily hear you. Please start.
Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank the Global Entomologist Network, the organizers and the admins for arranging such a nice series of informative and related sessions of seminars and webinars through which the people from different fields and aspects can get maximum benefit. And also I would like to thank all the participants who have already joined and who will join later on for taking time out of their busy schedule to be here tonight and listen to me today. Considering that the field of acarology is not that much known by many, I would start my talk with the very basic things and will go towards the advanced things. And in the meantime, I will make sure that I keep the interest of the audience with me. And I would like to ask Dr. Saqib to interrupt me if he wants, and he thinks that if I'm going away from the subject or if I'm taking too much time. During the talk, I will try to touch all the aspects with this field of acarology, and I know about the participants because there are students, there are professionals, there are researchers. So I will try to engage every aspect. And because this is such a big subject, this small talk, my talk is not going to do any justice with the subject, but I will try to deliver as much information as possible and while being relevant. In this talk, I will be throwing out some important, or you can say fun facts for the audiences to learn more about the subject while they are going through the presentation. And in the end, the questions are obviously encouraged. And if the audiences will not ask the question in the end, I will ask the question in the end with the audiences. So it's better to attack me rather than being attacked by me. So with this, I will start my presentation. Okay, the first thing is first that those great scientists and researchers who have spent their whole life to deliver this great science to us, they should be acknowledged. With that, Dr. Wharton and Dr. Baker are considered as the fathers of acarology who actually introduced this science to us. And Dr. Odemans, whose name repeatedly appears in our publications, and he is considered as father of cryptozoology. At this place, it becomes very difficult and will become not possible for me to enlist all those peers. I have tried to gather much information about them, and I have placed them just to give them the honor or give them the credit for everything they have done. These all people, they have done great job for providing us all the aspects of the mites and ticks, rather whether it is systematics, it is taxonomy, it is biological control, it is parasitism, whatever it is. Their hard work and their dedication towards the subject is highly appreciated. With that, the first fun fact to you tonight is going to be about the dust mites. And it is interesting to know, and it is interesting for me to share with you, as it is mentioned that a pillow that is about 2 years old can have dust mite feces and corpses. So with that information, when you will sleep tonight, be sure that you are not alone. Someone will be crawling down your ear or under your head. Quickly going through the journey in time, the field of acarology, the mites and ticks, they are very old, from the time of Aristotle, who actually coined the terms proton for the ticks and acari for the mites. Linnaeus was the first one to describe the first genus Acarus in the mites, and it was found in the stored grains. Later on in the early 20th century, the field of acarology or the study of acarology appeared as a modern science. Going back towards the evolutionary perspective, from where the mites came, it's not that much clear from the fossil record. However, the earliest ancestors of the mites, they were acariformes. I will be explaining this terminology later on in the later slides. They were small-sized, feeding in the leaf litter, in the soil, on the algae and fungi, because in the earlier times, the life was not advanced. From their evolution, parasitiformes, little bit larger mites, they evolved, and they were primitively predator in nature. With the advancement of time and with the evolution period, with the evolution of the insects and the plants, the mites also evolved, and there became a great lineage of different variety of mites, because the mites have strong ties with both of these group of organisms, which is plants and insects. So as they evolved through time, the mites also evolved with them. And this led them towards the water, because as the insects grew and they tried to occupy more cleaner and more habitable waters, mites followed them through the process of foracy. Foracy is like mites, they are using the other organisms to carry them to one place to another as a way of transport. The definition can be debatable, but however, in this context, the foracy is that the mites were attached to the body of insects for the transportation purposes. And when the insects, through evolution, went to the water, there became a great lineage, a new diversion, a new lineage of mites, which were considered as water mites. So we have terrestrial mites and we have water mites. So when we talk about the diversity and variety of mites, the mites come in variety. You can find the birds. When it comes to the ticks, yes, they're infesting birds. Mites can be found on the face of geckos or the lizards, and obviously the water bugs. So there is a wide variety of forms and function, and obviously this allows them to inhabit the wide variety of niches and the localities. As a fun fact, a recent paper that went through my eyes, that the mites, as I mentioned, they occupy wide variety of niches. Yes, the mites have been recorded from the Antarctica island. You have read it correctly and you have heard it correctly, that there are at least 70 species of mites reported from the Antarctica. So yeah, from polars, from glaciers, from sea, from land, from anywhere you will go, the mites are there. A little bit talking about the taxonomy and systematic before I go towards the main subject. It's important because we are talking about two different group of insects. Two different group of acari, which is mite and ticks. They are two different forms, and it can be explained in the form that the subclass acari has two superorders, the parasitiformes, as I explained earlier. It has 4 orders, while superorder Acariformes, which were predominantly terrestrial organisms, and they later on transferred themselves towards the sea or the water They include two orders. Among them, these are two orders of the Opilioacarida and Holotherida are of no significance under the subject of today's presentation. However, if any one of us get hold of mite, and we know that the organism that is in our hand is belonging to the class Arachnida and to the subclass Acari, then we can differentiate between Parasitiformis and Acariformis by looking at their coxal shape. There are other characteristics, but I'm just putting it very simple to everyone to understand that in the Parasitiformis order, the coxae of the legs, they are not fused with the body. They are freely articulating. It means the coxae can move. While in the Acariformis, as here in the illustration, it shows that you cannot see the boundary of the coxa, the first leg segment. Why? Because it is fused with the body. So next time when you have a surety that the organism that is in your hand is a mite, you can differentiate between it, whether it is a Parasitiformis or an Acariformis. So in this context, under the heading of today's presentation or today's talk, we will be considering only these four orders: Ixodida, Mesostigmata, Trombetiformis, and Sarcoptiformis. So order Ixodida is entirely designated or is entirely represented by ticks. And you can identify easily ticks because apparently they look like a mite. But how can you differentiate if it is a mite or a tick? By looking at the orders.
तनख्वाह वाले बंदे ही वे कितना कश 50,000 वो हाल ही मिल जाएगा
It seems the brother has an interesting thing to share, but unfortunately, I cannot understand what he was saying. However, let's going back towards the subject that the ticks can be differentiated based on their Haller's organ, which is present on the tarsus of leg 1, which is for sensing the heat of the mammals they are going to attach to. And then their retros teeth, that which are directed backward, and they insert it inside the body of their host. However, in the same order, which is order Mesostigmata, both of these are absent, while you see a wide diversity and variety of ciliate chelicerae. Mouth parts are ciliate-like, like you can see in the crabs or in the scorpions. They are particularly like that. So our mites, because ticks are covered in the order Ixodida, so mites belong to the order Mesostigmata, Trombetiformis, and Sarcoptiformis. I will just quickly go through it. Mostly the predators and parasites are reported from the order Mesostigmata. However, the pests, predators, and parasites are present in the order Trombetiformis. In this category, if the pest is there, it will have stylet-like or needle-like mouth parts. Not necessarily, but it is a general explanation. And if there is a predator, it will have a chelicerae ciliate-like, as you can see over here in this illustration. In the order Sarcoptiformis, they are occasional pests. They are usually in the soil. They do not get the status of the pest. However, they can be in particular scenarios. However, mostly they are parasites, saprophagus, feeding on the fungi, detrivorous, and their mouth parts are also typically ciliate. So as another fun fact comes along our way, which is now moving from your pillow, now going towards your face, which is most closest to the pillow. So every human almost have a Demodex folliculorum on their face, which is a Demodex mite. And whatever you do, how much time you wash your face, you are not going to get rid of it. So as it says, you are welcome. It means now I have told you what's being crawling on your face. So thank you so much. So coming back towards the actual subject of today's talk, the field of acarology has different interactions with different biotic elements around it, which includes human, animal, insects, plants, and whatever is living there in the soil. When it comes to the subject, okay, first I will just let you know about the, the legends of the color. The red color represents that, they are going to cause a damage. The green color here represents, they are beneficial. And the yellow is kind of neutral. So when it comes to the acarology with its affiliation with the human, nothing is beneficial over there. There are, the mites or ticks, when they will be interacting with the humans, they will have a medical significance. When it comes to the animals, there is nothing beneficial as such reported. And when the mites and ticks will be interacting with the animals, they will have a veterinary significance. So when it comes to the insects, so mites can have a neutral relationship with the insects, as I mentioned earlier, that they can be phoretic, using them as a transport services. They can have a negative relationship in terms where they are parasitizing the insects. We have found that it's not from my discovery actually, but it is reported that the red palm weevil, which is the pest of the what you call it, the date palm mite, date palm. It's a serious pest of date palm. So there are mites which are parasitizing, not using it as phoretic, but are parasitizing those individuals. And if it is beneficial perspective, it will be like IPM. So there are insect predators which are used for the management of the mite in infestations. Coming towards the plants, same category. There are only two things: either they are beneficial or they are harmful. So it will become of agricultural importance, and yes, it will come as IPM. So mites can act as a predator, and mites can also act as a pest. And when it comes to soil fauna, as I mentioned earlier, there are occasional pests. They are not that much significant. However, mostly they are useful in terms of bioindicators. Most of the oribatid or soil mites, they are considered as a good indication of health of soil. So if the diversity of the soil fauna is good of certain group of mites, it means the soil is healthy. If its soil is polluted, it means you can identify it from the relative abundance or diversity of the soil mites. So we will go one by one with the aspect, because the topic goes with the ecology and its relevance in the health and the agriculture. So we have the good and the bad. When it comes to the mites, because ticks are very clear, they have no distinction. But mites, they can be spider mites, they can be false spider mites, or they can be gall mites, because they are all harmful for the plants in the agricultural perspective. And there are good, which are considered as predators, not necessarily to only belong to the family Phytocidae, but as this presentation is going to be very general, so I will be only talking about the established concepts and established things. There are other predators from different families, but phytocides, they are the most famous predators when it comes to the mites. And spider mites, false spider mites, and gall mites are the most famous, notorious bad guys when it comes to towards their negative impacts. So let's talk about quickly about the notorious bad guys, and we will start with the perspective or their significance in the agriculture. So highlighting towards the spider mites, the first species, two-spotted spider mite. This is a cosmopolitan species. It is almost reported from all the regions of the world, and they are highly adopted, have high resistance, they have high genetic divergence, they have pesticide resistance. In the video, you were seeing a particular behavior of spider mites, which is considered as ballooning, in which the mites, they gather at the tip of a plant, of the leaf, and from there they make a ball. And by the wind, they are dispersed towards their next habitat. The next image shows that this is cucumber, which is infested by this species in the greenhouse. So not only their significance is in the greenhouse, but they are causing damage in the open fields. This whole field is not destroyed by anything else other than the spider mite, Trichonicus urticate. And this is the field of melon. It has been completely destroyed because of their high infestation. And then zucchini, which is considered as the summer squashes. You can see a large number of individuals at the back of the leaf. And then the second species is the date palm mite, which is considered Oligonicus aphaceticus. It is the main pest of date fruits, and it constructs heavy webbing on the fruits, which results in the falling of the fruit, or unripening of the fruit, or reducing the sugar content of the fruit. So in short, it is actually reducing the yield, affecting the yield of the date fruit. And it is like usually attacking only the plants belonging to the plant families of Ericaceae and Poaceae. So its host range is very strict, but it is abundantly found in those countries and regions where the date palm is grown. The next one is avocado brown mite, which is Oligonicus punicae. It is pest of economic concern of the fruits, mango and avocado. When it is infesting, because it's a spider mite, I should have explained this terminology, why they are considered spider mites, because they make webs on their host substrate like the spiders make. Because they are mite and they are making webs and they are the fellow members of the spiders, so they are considered spider mites. One thing to keep in your mind that not all spider mites can make web, but only when it comes to the spider mites, there is a certain group of organisms which make webbing structures when it's in the pest situation. So in the mango field, when they are attacking on the trees, the first symptom will appear as the dusty appearances of the leaves. This appears because they have make a webbing surface on the leaf surface. This webbing surface does what? That it attracts the sand particles over it and keep the mite protected under it. In the second image, you can see a few individuals that I tried to capture on the leaf. There are 3 or 4 individuals walking on the surface. And this webbing structures not only help them to protect them from the predators, but also from the negative impacts of the pesticides. We will be talking about that, how we can manage or control them later on, but let's know them. What are they? Yeah, one interesting thing I would like to mention in this perspective in the Oligonicus punicae, mashallah, Dr. Saqib has published a great publication in the MDPI journal, as I remember correctly, where he has solved the issue related with the proper identification of the species, because there were 2 species, Oligonicus punicae and Oligonicus mangiferus, and they were considered as distinct 2 species. But the research of Dr. Saqib, of hard work of multiple years, he has established this fact through molecular and morphological analysis that only the Oligonicus punicae species is there. And about the mangiferus, no, this has been synonymized with the punicae. So yeah, the work of Dr. Saqib has helped us to reach the proper identification of the species, which is also very important when it comes towards the management of the pest. The last pest which I will be introducing to you tonight is the oriental red mite. This mite does not make web on the leaf surface, but it has high biotic potential. It means that it is going to grow very fast. The technical name goes like Uretranicus orientalis. It has wide host range with global distribution, and genetic divergence is there. It means that there are different genetic forms of this species. And even one of the research papers that published from our lab, authored by Brother Eid, Mr. Eid Khan from our lab, he has synonymized, I think, more than 10 species with this species, which were wrongly identified. So yeah, proper identification is very important, and identification of this pest is very key. As you can see in this image, there is a large number of molting, a large number of individuals around. And in this image, you can see these orange spots, which are present around the vein of the citrus leaf. And same, it goes with the pomegranate and the sisyphus. So most of the fruit trees, it is there, infesting them and reducing their yield in high numbers. There are many different false spider mites. Now we are going to the next group of pests from the mites, which is false spider mites. There are many different species, but I will just try to focus my talk on the significant ones. This one is the red palm mite, considered technically called as Royala indica. It is in the recent research papers considered as an emerging pest of date palm, and it has been declared as a major pest of coconut trees. So all the trees in the palm family, they are going to be a target of this individual. And in the images, you can see these are different patches underside the leaf of the date palm tree. And this, what they do, that they reduce the chlorophyll or photosynthetic activity of the plant itself, which is going to make the plant weak and open for the secondary infestations. Either it is from the pest or from the pathogens. Last but not least is the category of gall mites. There is a whole superfamily Eryphidae considered in this group. They make different deformalities. Mostly it is galls, but they can make different shapes and structures of deformalities, which not only reduces the aesthetic value of the crop itself, but also reduces its vigor and its ability to fight with the diseases and other pathogens. In this image, you can see a gall produced on the Sisyphus plant and the individuals which were present inside. And these individuals were observed after dissecting these galls. We cannot see them from the surface, but when you dissect these galls, you find abundant number of individuals inside. And same, I am not sure, and this is going to be on my shoulders. I didn't make this image big, but there are lesions present on the leaves of the grapes, and there are lesions present on the olives. One thing good about the gall mites, as I mentioned, that sometimes there is good in some bad, which is that the gall mites or the eryphids, they are considered as important and potential biocontrol agents for the weeds. But again, their broader category, their broader perspective, as they say, the majority of them represent them as pests. So we may not know that mites are considered, especially the gall mites or the eryphid mites, are also considered beneficial when they are used for the weed biological control. Now, after covering the subject of the agriculture, we move towards the pests of medical significance. There are different mites, there are different ticks, which are causing a severe types of skin diseases and lung diseases to the humans. Not to mention only this, but there are many others. Significantly important are house dust mites, which are present in the carpets and in the floors and on the wall hangings, on the curtains, mostly in the humid environments, and they cause are a serious issue of the asthma. One of the research papers that went through my eyes, it shows that if you do not clean your air conditioners, if you have one in your home, so the sieve which is there inside your AC, it will provide the dust mites the best situation to grow, and with the air they will disperse. So maintaining a personal and environmental hygiene is very important to get rid of these kind of medical pests. Scabies mites causes scabies, which is a contagious skin condition in which rashes appear on the skin, severe itching appears, and the irritation is there. And then chigger mites, they cause intense itching and dermatitis. And house mouse mite, that the mouse, when they are around inside their home, if they are not properly eradicated, they can transfer this mite, which is in turn going to cause the rickettsial pox in humans. Follicle mites, we have already got introduced, so don't check your face now because it's too late, and they know now that you know that they are there. So they are maybe going to hide themselves. They are not of a serious issue. Follicle mites, they can cause skin conditions, but most of the follicle mites, they are there in our eyelids, and it's a report, medical report says that they are beneficial for our eyes. Then we come towards the black-legged tick, which is of medical significance, causing Lyme disease. Asian longhorn tick, emerging vector suspected for viral transmission, and then Hyalomus species causes for tick paralysis or Congo fever. As it may interest you, there is a very interesting video on YouTube with the title of Red Velvet Mite A to Z Information. It is not in English, it is in the native language, but the guy has delivered a very nice information about these red velvet mites. This is just for your interest. If someone wants to have a look of these Trombididae, as their family name is, mites, they can get good information. There are other sources, but I found this very interesting, coming from a person who is not that much expert in mites. This information in this video is quite good. One thing that they are not considered as chiggers, as in the previous slide, I have showed you chigger mites. Chigger mites are different from red velvet mites. So red velvet mites are usually beneficial. They are also a good indication of soil health, while chiggers, they are pests and they bite humans. These velvet mites, they do not bite. With the veterinary significance, we move on towards those which are attacking the poultry, sheep, cattle, other mammals. Among them, the northern fowl mite is for the chickens. It's responsible for reducing the egg production. Chicken mite, as its name says, egg drop is caused by them. Coreoptic mange mite, this is in the cattle and horses, and the sauroptic mange mite, again, it's in sheep and rabbits. So what what you can say combined symptoms of all these infestations or of all these organisms is that, first of all, the health of the organism goes down. If it is a sheep, it will lose its wool. If it's a rabbit, it will lose the hair from its ears. If it's a chicken, the chicken is going to become almost featherless. There will be no feather on its body. Then cattle tick, exodus tick, and the embryoma ticks. These are for the cattle and horses, and they also cause severe skin diseases, reducing the output of the yield that we are expecting from them. For example, if it is chickens, that it means that we are not going to get that amount of eggs or that amount of meat from them. If it is from the cattle, it means that the milk production is going to be affected. And not only that, the infestation of these kind of pests doesn't only reflect in the reduced yield, but also in the reduced health. And the farmer, obviously, when it goes to the larger mammals or larger cattle, farmer cannot afford to have their animals sick, or at least not producing the yield that they're expecting from them. And all this hassle, obviously, we cannot forget about honeybees. Varroamide, the most notorious one, should be mentioned first of all. It is responsible for the deformed wing virus transmission, and it is the driver of the colony collapse disorder. That when the infestation is there, it means that the colony usually collapse. There are tracheal mites which are inside the tracheal system, respiratory system of the honeybees. They are called as Acarologist woody. Obviously, when they are in the trachea, the bees are going to have problem in breathing, and when there is a problem in breathing, it means their health is not good. They are going to be weakened. And as mentioned, that they are responsible for the winter mortality of the bees, as they do not have much activity outside. And how they are identified, that it requires that a proper dissection of the organism is done. So like representative samples from the colony can be taken, and they are dissected properly inside the lab, and their tracheal system is observed. If the mites are there, it means it can be mostly it has infested in the colony. Last but not least is the Tropilolaps mites, which is causing the brood death. They are present inside the hive, and they feed on the young ones or immatures, and they if anyone survives from their attack, when they will emerge, those bees will be deformed. There is a short interesting information about the ticks. For example, deer ticks can live to be 4 years old, or brown dog ticks are almost exclusive to dogs, or most often found in the ears or between the toes. So there are specifics, and there are some which are causing big trouble. So after knowing all these bad guys, we should know what are those good guys who can help us, who are helping us in nature. So biological control is actually the manipulation of natural system, where the humans saw that there are good guys, there are beneficial insects which are actually feeding on those harmful individuals. So here comes the good guys, and as they say, that the pests should stay away or get eaten. So highlighting only the most important and significant ones, because this is the present talk is about the mites, so I will just stay focused on the predatory mites. Two of them are quite of significance. Phytoceras persimilis, which is the specialist predator of Titanicus species. Titanicus is from the spider mite genus, and true spotted spider mite is among them. And true spotted spider mite has a severe issue of field. It is cosmopolitan, resistance development in them, and it is also a severe pest in the greenhouses. So yeah, this predator comes as a very good tool from where we can see that this predator is giving a great help in controlling these pests. So this predator feeds on almost all stages of the mite, whether it is eggs or it is live moving individuals, whether they are larvae, whether they are nymphs. In mites, there is no pupa, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever it suits best to anyone. They are feeding on all the stages. And good thing is that they are compatible with the other groups of predators, which means that we can use the Phytocillus persimilis along with the Nucellus californicus. And here is a small glimpse that how the individual, a female of Nucellus californicus, enters inside the web of the spider mite, tries to attack. There is a resistance from the pest. As it tries to escape, you can see that the predator was ready for it, and it has caught it and is going to feed on it. So these predators, why they are considered specialists, because they know how to go inside the webbing structures of the spider mites. And because the spider mites, they construct web to protect themselves, so they can overcome the defense system. So they are our good guys, which are actually going to attack the pest mites, which are actually inside the webbing structures. There is a small list of the global companies which are providing these predatory mites for the biocontrol. Among them, Coopert is the most famous one, and the BioBest Syngenta, they are leading in providing us with the potential biological control agents. I have seen the track of the time. I'm quite out of the schedule. I will just try to be focused, more focused, rather leading away from the subject to compile my presentation. What are their different advancements in the ecological research? The molecular is the era now where the DNA barcoding and RNAi technique is used for not only for the identification of the species, but also to hinder the certain enzymes and proteins inside the mite body. For the observational purposes, there are confocal laser microscopy there, which gives us high definition of very small features, which are there either important to study for the functional morphology or to give us more insight about the behavior and adaptability of the mites. This one, the third one, is quite interesting for me, where it is ecological perspective. It goes with the terminology of environmental DNA, which is eDNA. And it is interesting to me. Why? Because you can detect the mites present in the soil without direct collection. This is such a great thing, because we have to go through a hassle to get the mites out of the soil samples. So if we can just skip a step, this is going to help us in great way. And then obviously the applied sciences comes with the resistance monitoring and different interactions and AI platforms. What are the different emerging concerns for agriculture and health? Almost the same. Knowledge gap is there. People, they don't know about the species, about their damage symptoms, how to control them, how to manage them. So knowledge gap should be fulfilled as number one. Public awareness is the key. And if there is public awareness, then we can come to a common solution. And then climate-driven spread. Sometimes because of the climate change, there was a recent paper published. It went through my eyes, although it is from the perspective of the Aedes aegypti, the dengue mosquito. But they have a great point that the climate change is now forcing the individuals or the arthropods to change their habitat, or even helping them to occupy diverse habitats. So this is another problem, that now we don't know the extent of the issue, that till where the individuals have been spread. Either they are invasive, either they are native. So this has been a great hindrance. What can we do is towards their adopt the biological control methods, vaccinations when it comes for the parasites of the humans, and IPM is always the key. No one should talk about any control strategies if the IPM is not being established. Yeah, so what is in it for you? Well, we have seen quite a lot of things. So at the end, you guys should get something. So what is in it for you? You can get a hobby. I have seen quite a different profiles on the internet, like Frank Ashwood or Charlie Clutterbuck, Andy Murray. These guys mostly have a degree in the zoology or agricultural zoology, kind of like that. And they have adopted it as their hobby. to have a identification of the mites and smaller arthropods. So it's not necessarily to have a job, but you can adopt if you have this curiosity of understanding and knowing what is around you. You can adopt it as a hobby. And these guys, when they have adopted it as a hobby, they were invited for the museums. They were invited by the showcasing issues where they have displayed their work and they have won different awards internationally or nationally. So yeah, there's a whole new world if you go and adopt it as a hobby. If not, the career development, the career opportunities are again up and beyond if you go in the subject of entomology or in the subject of acarology. And then the things not only mentioned over here are the only things, but they can go beyond. Like you can have a business, you can become an outreach specialist, you can be a scientific illustrator. There is a great need of illustrator or the guy who processes the images. One in the King's University, we have a specific place in the insect museum, a guy who only works to take the images, because taking the image is not like something simple. You have to be aware of certain characteristics which you are going to visualize in your images. So yeah, these are the different kind of career that a person having the degree in the zoology or in the entomology or in acarology in particular can have these kind of different careers, like honorable things. One interesting thing is there is a series of National Geographic about Meet Your Mite project. They have a specific project and they have a very interesting video regarding are mites reproducing on my face? The question you may not want to know the answer to. So again, we are back at it. Don't be afraid. They are good guys, but yeah, it's good to follow this project. Acarology in Pakistan, and pioneers and peers, no one can bypass the name of Professor Dr. Wali Muhammad Chaudhry. He is the father of acarology in Pakistan. He has a great contribution in identifying different groups of mites. Either they are parasitic, they are predatory, or they are of pest significance. Dr. Wali Muhammad Chaudhry has done a great job. And Dr. Bruce Holliday in 2018 has published a research paper about the checklist of mites, and he has honored in great words the work of Dr. Wali Muhammad Chaudhry. And then if I use this place to enlist the names, it will be not possible, because I have seen a lot of people, I should not say people, there are a lot of respectable doctors and researchers and students who are working in the field of acarology. And they go up and beyond from the level of taxonomy to the ecological role, towards the acaricide resistance, pest management, even different universities from different cities of Pakistan, not considering only from Punjab, but from Sindh and from the KPK, they are working tirelessly. And I think they are doing a great job. Just a small introduction for the lab from I am representing or I have been working on. Dr. Fahad Jabbar Al-Ratabi is our lab head, and he has taught us in a great way. I don't know what to do over here, so I will just deny. So Dr. Muhammad Kamran has been with us, and he's a specialist in taxonomy and systematics. Dr. Hafiz Muhammad Saqib Mushtaq was among us and still among us. It's our honor to have him with us. He's expert in mite systematics, and he is enthusiastic IPM. And there is great things to learn from him. Dr. Jamal Said Basahi was from Yemen, and he had focus on the predatory mites. So alumni means that these people are no longer physically with us, but they are still in our hearts. Mr. Eid Muhammad Khan is a PhD scholar. He's about to finish his PhD degree. He is expert in spider mite taxonomy, in the fall spider mite taxonomy, and nowadays in his PhD, he is proving himself as an emerging aphid expert. Mr. Hafiz Muhammad Sajid Ali is a PhD candidate. He has great knowledge in the biological control, and he has great experience in this regard. Mr. Nasruddin Al-Goni is from Sudan, and he has great experience in false spider mite taxonomy and systematics. Mr. Munibur Rahman, Syed Zain Abidin, and Kamal Shahwan were among us, and they have played a great role in the building our lab. If you want to know more about the mites, there are some databases, some websites where you can go visit them and have a knowledge more that I was not able to deliver it to you in today's talk. A man is known by the book he reads. So these are few books that I would necessarily recommend. Manual of Acarology is the Bible of Acarology, which means that if anyone wants to start working in the acarology, he should have this book. This book is a complete guide from 0 to 1 million to A to Z. Every information about the mites and ticks is there in this book. And then it's not late to not late to mention principles of acarology, mites, their ecology, evolution, and obviously agricultural ecology. Thank you so much for being with me till this time. I have, I think, passed more than about an hour. I'm so sorry for that. If anyone was feeling bored or out of the scope, I am sorry for that. I have tried to keep it more, straight to the topic. However, the subject is so big, and I was just able to cover the tip of the iceberg. There is too much to learn. There is so many things to talk about. I would like to finish my talk with again thanking the GEN organizers for giving me this opportunity to be in front of you and to talk about the mites and acarology. If there are any questions, it will help us to explore. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Jawwad Hassan Mirza, for that insightful presentation. We will now begin the question answer session. The participants may post their questions in the chat or raise their hand to ask directly. Let's keep the discussion focused and scientific.